Welcome to the coaching game. Obviously, it's coaches creating change because I see Miss Yoffe in the picture here. Hey, Terry.
Hi, Lori. Here I am in the place. What does it say? I'm in the room. I'm in the room,
Okay, good,
and
good.
here I am. Coaches creating change. I have to say, I love the topic. It is my life, and coaching, podcasting, working with you, coaches creating change. We're all should be creating change in our lives.
Right, and so when Terry and I are catching up, I'm going, well, how's it going this year? And she's telling me, oh, I'm switching this, and I'm going, you know what, that might be a good topic because we all started out January 1. Oh my God, here's what we're going to do, the big term, and I mean the big picture and the long-term plans. And I've had to as Terry likes to say, pivot. I've had to pivot so many times, and what is it like? The beginning, not even the first quarter yet. And so we thought we would talk about that a little bit. How you can make the best of plans, but actually, I have something on my refrigerator that says "Man plans, God laughs," and it's like life just gets in the way, and you got to go with it. So,
True.
what are you finding, Terry, in 2024 that is surprising you, or educating you, or creating awareness for you? What's happening with you?
Um, I wanted this year, and I may still do a TED talk.
Hmm.
That's sort of there. However, for me, I started looking at the year and saying, I've had some health issues relating to COVID over the last year and a half. And I decided for now, I am focusing on my health, on feeling better, doing what I need to do to get my health on track. Number one.
Yep.
And number two, I'm looking at all of my expenses that I have had with organizations and other plans, and deciding what don't I need? What can I give up that are great to have, but don't necessarily serve me today? So it's looking at that and looking at my lineup for my podcast. I am almost done for the year, believe it or not. I have one slot available. And then what do I want to do? How do I want to create changes with my coaching, with how I present myself, with my website? So those are things that are doable. They're not big mountains to climb, they're little molehills. And for me right now, that's doable, and seeing how it goes.
I like the
So,
concept of mountains and molehills because when you're saying it all, it sounds like, whoa, that's a big old mountain to climb. So I know when you're saying molehills, I know what you're doing. Tell everybody what you're doing with all that stuff that you just mentioned. It's like, how are you prioritizing? How are you chunking it out? And how are you going to get all this done?
well, my health is my priority, and I am working on that by going to the right doctors, getting what I need. Um, One of my podcasts was with this. Uh, he does cell optimization help,
Hmm.
and I've already started. You have to swab your cheeks and send that back to him. He does a whole report on what's going on with you, because as he said in his opening quote, doctors are there to keep you alive. They don't necessarily keep you healthy. And, you know, his philosophy is one pill doesn't fit everybody. So I have decided to work with him and see where it goes as a way of optimizing my health, because COVID left me really tired. So I'm working on that. I've started working out more. I've started not giving in to my one of the things that I have, my inner dizziness.
Mhm.
That's my regiment. And then I looked at where can I cut costs this year? What don't I need? And doing that. So it's little things that I can do, little molehills, as I say, and tick off each one, and opening the way for my coaching, my podcasts, and whatever else comes down the pike.
That's interesting because I had decided long before, because I'm too am having health issues right now, and I decided that I'm going to take everything as an opportunity. And I, like you had said, oh, something's wrong. I'm so tired all the time. It must be long-term COVID. So I just accepted that. And then it turns out that I needed a special procedure that required special blood test. And it was like, oh, wait a minute, I am severely anemic. And and so it was like, okay, I'm not looking forward to the procedure. I'm not looking forward to any of that. But it was like that was an opportunity for me to say, oh, okay, let me fix this anemia first, which I did, thank heavens, and use that as an opportunity. And I think when it comes to health, it's like rather than go, oh my God, why me? What's going on? It's like, wait a minute, I have a great medical team, love them all. And it's like, okay, I want to be a co-creator of my health. And I think that's what you're saying too. Cool, I'm so glad the doctors are there, but I can do my part. And I swore I was going to do that. And then this whole thing where it was like, well, you shouldn't be doing anything too strenuous right now till we get this all checked out. And I was like, that's an excuse not to do what I usually do. So I've got to get back on track with that. So I took that a little too far, I think. But yeah, so it sounds like co-creating. It's like I'm not saying I can do it by myself, but don't want to do it by myself. But get your right team, like you did. Get your team together, and then or this gentleman who is checking your cheek swabs out. And then see, okay, what is my part in the goal and who can help? And that's kind of where we both are, I think, right now. It's like, and what a way to start out the year, because I really said, I'm just gonna go full
Wing
speed
it.
ahead. Here's job stuff, here's career stuff. No, health. Health is gonna be the game.
And what you just made me think about is it's really co-creating your life,
Ah,
you know,
expanding, even better, yes.
that we are beings that can co-create our life with, if you believe in it, a higher being, a universe, a synchronicity, whatever you want to call it or are
Right.
comfortable with. Some of us, like me, believe there is a higher power. I wouldn't call it God or whatever. There's a high, in my estimate, and it's being willing to co-create and to do our part to become who we want to be, our purpose, our passion in
Mhm.
the universe, and helping others. That's why we're coaches.
Yep,
That's
yep.
why I have a podcast. It's all the same avenue, the podcast, the coaching. It's the same voice with the same message on
Mm.
my website.
Yeah.
And we lead by example. If you're in poor health, you can't possibly coach somebody on health.
Good point. I mean, not that a disability or a temporary setback would stop you from coaching, but it's like if you're not doing all that you can do to improve your health, then you're right. You really can't,
Right,
encourage somebody else to do that. It's like,
right.
wait, no, you have to lead by example. Yeah.
But meaning, I mean, if you're sick,
Mhm.
really sick, like cancer or something, that's not your fault per se. But if you're trying to coach somebody on health benefits and, exercise and take care of yourself, and you're 300 pounds and looking poorly, that's a disconnect.
It is, and you're right, and but don't you in the middle of something, this is totally off track, but don't you in the middle of sometimes when you're coaching somebody go, I need to work on that too. And it's but you
All the
have to have a good
time.
act as if, but it's like that's why I love coaching because it's the best profession in the world. You get to help people and you coach yourself while
Help
you're
yourself.
doing it. It's like,
Absolutely.
oh, I could use some of that too, come to think of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And,
Yeah.
no matter how old you are and how much you have it together and have had life struggles and challenges, it's a journey. And I still have issues, as I'm sure you do.
Oh,
So
definitely.
when clients come and want, they want, their perception is, oh, they're going to tell me what to do.
Mm.
I'm not in a position to tell somebody what to do. I don't have the answers for them.
Sometimes they don't have the answers for me. Exactly. So it's like, but you can teach them the journey, I think. Or not teach them, but guide
Show them.
yeah,
Right.
show them, guide them on the journey because it's taking advantage of opportunities, it's being open, it's being flexible. Where you were saying pivoting again, it's like, you know, what do you do when there's a setback? Do you just sit back and say, "Oh gosh, this didn't work out. Let me try something else." Or do you say, "Wait, okay, what can I get from this setback? What is this I feel there's a universe that has my back at all times. So what is the universe trying to tell me? What are they trying to? Obviously, something I missed something, or I need to do an extra step, or I need to just cut it off. But a setback could be a valuable lesson. I think there's a quote that says, "Failure to a wise man is an opportunity, and failure is a setback to a fool." So it's like, what do you do with it? And I think that's and whatever made you say, "Oh, I want to look at my expenses, my expenses." It's like, did you change priorities? Are you saying, wait, I'm just writing checks for no reason? Whatever made you do that, is probably good because something said, oh, wait a minute. And you get that little feeling like, oh, and this is not the way it should be. Yeah.
I think it's every year kind of cleaning house,
Mm,
whether it's inside or outside,
yes.
and priorities, right?
Mm-hmm.
This year, some of my priorities are different. Whereas I don't need where my expenses are, that I can remove them because I'm in the process of doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
And that something else is taking precedence this year. And therefore, I have to look at the bigger picture and say, do I really need A, B, and C? No. Would it be great to have? Maybe. But I've got other priorities this year
Mm-hmm.
that I have to invest in my health, in my profession, in the word I want to get out. And that changes. That's why pivoting and being flexible and adaptable is, if you're stuck in who you are and what you are, and you stand firm and don't move, nothing happens. Being adaptable and flexible means you can shift gears.
Right, right. And if I think if you view it as an adventure and a journey for sure,
Mhm.
then it's like, oh, okay, here's an op which road do I take, you know, and which way is going to benefit or get me where I want to go. But you know, there's another aspect to it too. I swear I'm reading a book, and this is really the title. It's called F the Shoulds, Do the Wants. And so every time I hear myself say should, it's like, what do I want to do this? And it
Right.
is what if you try to do that, if you try to track, it's like, oh, I should do the dishes now, or I should call this client. And you go, but do you want to? And it's like, no. So, you know, then you have to really weigh. It's like, well, okay, why do you want to? And et cetera. So I'm trying to make that my guidepost also, as well as flexibility is the name of the game for sure. It's a flexible 2024.
You're
But
right.
and the idea of like, wow, do you want to do that? You know, do you want to subscribe to that magazine? Do you want to be a part? Do
Right.
you want to have that membership?
Exactly.
I don't know. You know, you should. You absolutely should because everybody tells you you should. But do you want to? Yeah, whole different game. Whole
It's,
different game.
and every year there's a different priority. And you have to look at what's your priority this year, not last year or the year before,
Right.
or this would be great to have. However, this is my priority. This is my journey this year. And if whatever else is there that isn't part of that priority, then I have to say, out it goes.
Mhm.
And stick with what do I want to accomplish this year? And I hope people listening will look at that. What do you want to accomplish this year? Very simple. I want A, B, C, and D. Great. Great. What will it take to do that and get there? What
Right.
does it mean you have to do to get there? Simple. Well, I don't want to give up this and I don't want to give up that. And okay, then you're not going to get to where you need to go.
Right.
And it's focusing on that. What's the journey for this year? I'm very specific about what I want it to look like. I have to co create that. I have to open up and I have to say, it's like getting rid of clothes, right? Going into your closet and saying, okay, I haven't worn this in 10 years. Why am I keeping it? And getting rid. It's the same concept as going into a closet and getting rid of what doesn't fit, doesn't work, was from 20 years ago, that doesn't even look good, doesn't fit you, but you're keeping it. Why? What's the point?
Mhm.
If your goal this year is that you've lost 30 pounds, that you look amazing, that it's 2024, not 1994. You know, it's the same philosophy. And we can't get off track.
It is. Cheryl Richardson, who's a renowned
Mm-hmm.
coach,
Right.
I was decluttering seems to be a big topic for 2024. Everybody has big tints on that. And she was saying sometimes you hold on to things for memories. Sometimes you hold on to things of the memory of what it was when you started it, you know, like your organization that you're not going to do. And sometimes you have to just say, you know what? If it had meaning to me, then maybe give it to someone else. Let someone else get that meaning because I've used it. I've used it up and I need to get something else or I need to just relax and not get anything. But it's don't I'm afraid people might say, but wait a minute, I don't want to say I wasted 5 years in this organization. No, you learned a lot of cool things. And the fact that you learned that I don't need this right now is even the best, probably the best lesson. You know, you didn't feel that way 5 years ago, but now you do. So it's don't discredit what you've done, thank
No.
what you've done and
Mm-mm.
say, thank you for getting me here, and then move along, you know. So I'm trying to do that also slowly with the decluttering, but that's always a goal though to
Oh,
declutter.
gosh.
Yeah.
You're right. And it's looking in the rearview mirror. You can't change the past, but
Right.
there are lessons you could
Yes.
learn.
Yes.
And then it's looking out the windshield and saying, I'm going here. What lessons did I learn that I can take with me? Or what lessons that I can leave on the road because I don't need them anymore?
I like that you use windshield because it's like, yes, if you're driving a car, you're not going to be constantly looking in the rearview window
Uh-uh.
going, where was I? It's like, no, you want to do an occasional glance, but you want to look out the windshield. It's like, where am I going? And the what you found, what you left on the road, what you found on the road, that's all how it's going to get you there. So yeah, and I think maybe I don't know. I guess flexibility is the way to go. It's like sometimes we hold on to stuff because it was so important when we did it, and that's a great memory to have. But if it's not important now, it's like maybe give that up and find something else that really hits that spark for you or creates that spark for you.
And I think just playing off of that, people hold on to things for so many reasons. They're not going to be able to, that old relationship, they're not going to be able to recreate something. So they hold on to the memory of it,
Right.
or an event that was so exciting that it doesn't give room to move forward because we're in the past holding on, number one, to all of these things, which I'll call a trapeze. It's about letting go and being in limbo and getting all of the challenges and struggles and then grabbing a new trapeze, which is
Oh,
something present.
I
And
like that.
people
Yeah.
don't let go. They're still holding on. They're afraid to let go. And until you grab the next trapeze, you're in limbo. And it's the limbo that you learn from and grow from. So that's my
Challenges.
metaphor.
That's great because if you hold on, you just keep swinging back and forth, and you go here, and then you go back to where you were. But if you let go, it's like, oh, it's scary, but it's like, okay, how can I get to where I want? How can I get to that pole that I need so desperately? So, yeah, that's that's a very good metaphor. Very good
Thank you.
metaphor. Yes.
I just think this year, as I say, the end of the year, and I look at January as kind of the bridge. January is that month where you're still figuring out between last year and this year. And it's the bridge really to the new year, which is to me starts in February, and rethinking, what do I want to do? Where do I want to go this year? What do I want to create to happen?
Mhm.
Do I want to see the same old scenery looking out the windshield? Or am I willing to take a different path and see new scenery and create change with that?
But you know what? Also, I'm not. I don't want to discourage people who go, you know what? 2023 was a rough year. I need a break.
Everyone.
I want to just chill. I don't want to do anything. I want to drop all these goals and all these I want to relax. I want to decompress, and then I want to process. And then you can easily decide. It's like that was so much better. So if that's what you need to do, that's also good. I wouldn't recommend it for an indefinite period of time, but
Exactly.
if
Exactly.
that's okay to know I think to know what's going to serve you best is probably the greatest gift you can give yourself. And if it takes like a cheek swab or a meditation session or whatever it takes, do that. I think that's the best service you could give to yourself is just like, what do I
Absolutely.
need right now? Right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Take a step back, go into your comfort zone with a blankie and milk and cookies and decompress and figure
Yes.
out, what do I want to do? However, I would not recommend it for the whole year.
Right.
But if you want to take a week, a month, but no, put it on the calendar, coming out of that comfort zone in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and knowing I'm coming out and going into whatever place you want to go to, in thinking about what do I want to do this year? What's
Right.
going to serve me?
What's going to serve me? What's going to serve others, if indeed that's important to you? And we know we speak to a lot of coaches, so that's definitely important to you because that's what we do.
Mhm.
How can I best serve others? But how can I? But you really can't do that until, like you said, you take care of yourself. And that doesn't
Always.
mean you're perfect, and that doesn't mean you've got all the answers, but it does mean that you have an authenticity and you have a direction and you're willing to learn and experience and be wrong and learn from those lessons. That's how I think you're going to best serve others.
Absolutely. And, to go back to what you said before, what they taught us in our coaching group, there's no such thing as failure, there's only feedback.
Ah, I think
Same thing.
ours was failure. Yeah, there's no such thing as failure. There's only opportunities. So it's
It's the
like
same thing.
either one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Fail, there's no such thing. Oh, I'll fail. You know, you never fail. You just learn if you're going in a direction and it's not the right direction. Either you're shown another direction or you pivot somewhere else.
Or if you keep doing the same thing and you keep getting success, that's great.
Yeah.
Good. You're very successful, but you're not learning because it's like, okay, I've got this formula down and I've got to follow it every time. And then when something comes along, it's like, oh, what happened? But you're not really learning. So welcoming failures, and as we said, there is no such thing as failure, but welcoming setbacks and welcoming not getting exactly where you want to go is probably a blessing to you. It's like, okay, what can I learn from this? You're going to come up with another way to get what you want. And that's creative. And then so it goes. We have like 30 seconds left. So do you have any final wisdom
Um,
you'd like to share?
um, just go out and do whatever you're going to do, and whatever the pitfalls are there. Go with it. If you're a warrior, just go. If you fall down, get back up and get back into the ring and just keep doing it.
Keep swinging on that trapeze and grabbing for another bar. The analogy is great. Yeah, I would say do what you want, not what you feel like you should do. Try to do that and welcome experiences that don't turn out exactly the way you want.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we'll have a good 2024 and we'll talk to you next month.